Citizen Soldier is basically about deployment from 2011 that the Oklahoma National Guard went in to Afghanistan, Lagman Province. And it really centers around Alpha Company, and that was the unit that I was with during the deployment in Cobb and Jill. But that's the focus, to tell a bigger picture of just brotherhood and about what the National Guard does during a deployment. Just going from that citizen soldier aspect, from everyday working citizen in Oklahoma to being on the side of a mountain fighting in one of America's longest wars.
I'm a citizen airman. I was with citizen soldiers. We're just National Guard from Oklahoma, Army Guard, Air Guard, that deployed to Afghanistan, and we did our job and we came home. And it's a story about not only the deployment itself and what we did leading up to the deployment, what we did during the deployment, but that transition of coming back to life after the deployment.
The conception of the film did not happen for 6 months or so after I got back. And I think that the reason that's important is because if you don't understand that, then there's new misconceptions about the film, that we went into Afghanistan planning to make a film, and that's why we had helmet cam footage, which isn't the case. And I think that if you think like that, then it takes away from the realness and the greediness of the footage, because the footage was just there, and we just happened to capture it.
This was a historic deployment for the state of Oklahoma. The Army hadn't deployed this many soldiers since the Korean War. And this being the first time that the Air Force or the Air National Guard has supported the Army Guard from Oklahoma, it's never been done in the state. So getting to be a part of that was huge, because it helped us see what the other side was doing and then come together as a team.
All those misconceptions that I had been hearing for the past 6 months, I'm hearing them in my brain. It's like, hey, I didn't think it snowed in Afghanistan, and I'm looking at pictures or footage of where we were in the snow, and it's like, oh, I thought you guys lived in college dorms, and I'm looking at footage where we were in Cobb and Jill that didn't even have, great electricity or hot water or anything when we first got there that we had to bring in, I didn't think that the National Guard, ever was faced in danger, but yet I've got hours and hours of footage from firefights and losses that we had to come through. And so for me, it was that moment that I said, wow, if there was ever a moment that I could put everything together and I could present something to the world, like, hey, you know what, you have all these misconceptions about the Guard, here's this, just watch this, and hopefully to come together. Probably a turning point was when Rob came up to me and he said, hey, Channel 5 is going to let me tell this story. And within about a month, 2 months from that airing is when I get a call from Dave Salzberg, and that opened up everything. We went into, a series of negotiations, if you will, and then February of 2015 is whenever we started finalizing the deal for what now has become Citizen Soldier.